Okay, this is another video. We're still working at on the 4G 64 Mitsubishi engine. Um, One of the problem was is this. Look at this pipe. This pipe is a coolant inlet pipe, and it's situated at the back of the engine. I'm gonna let you see what it's like. It had a next what's his name here, but I removed it because I had to get a pipe rebuilt, because in Jamaica this pipe is very hard to come by, and I mean nowhere I could get this pipe, and the, even if you do get it, it's so expensive. I think the Mitsubishi dealer sell this pipe for 16,000 something plus GCT. So just imagine all the taxes add to it. And you can get it on eBay for $30, $50, and you can get it on AliExpress for cheap. Now, what I'm trying to say to you now is this pipe. Many times your vehicle overheat, and while your vehicle overheating, one of the problem is that you take it to the mechanic and they will tell you all kinds of stuff. You need to do a cylinder head job, you need to do this, you need to do that. This particular pipe right here, as I'm trying to say to you, is that the previous owner for this vehicle, they used to use water, the straight tap water. And then what happened is that the tap water got chlorine in it. So the chlorine eat this pipe up, because you're not supposed to put chlorinated water in your coolant system, because it eats the pipe. Not only that it eats the pipe up and rusts it out, and and it's rot, is that it also eats into your cylinder head. Yes, and your water pump. So it's not good. Never good to use the tap water. So if you have an overheat, always check this pipe also. Don't leave, because this pipe is at the back of the engine, a lot of people don't look at it. So they will change out everything except this pipe. And sometimes this pipe is the biggest problem. You look at this pipe, you see so many holes in it. Another thing is the radiator. These radiator, they come, if you look at the bottom of the radiator, you see the bottom of this is plastic. In Jamaica, a lot of people change the plastic and put metal on top. Why? A lot of auto mechanics in Jamaica don't understand why they put the plastic top up here. One of the reasons for the plastic top on the radiator is that once you start having a problem with your coolant system in your vehicle, this plastic that should be here, that is down here, this is what the plastic is, it usually bursts. Once you see that plastic burst, it's an indication that you're having a problem with your coolant system, and you need to check it immediately. In Jamaica, what the auto mechanics does is they would let you put epoxy on the burst. That does not solve the problem. You understand? And what's going to happen down the line is that when you continue driving that vehicle, it's going to damage. It can cause catastrophic damage to your vehicle. Your engine could total, because the indication, that the first indication that it gives you, ignore the cooling system itself and you let them epoxy. And one of the things that they will say in Jamaica, oh, let's start using plastic, and the plastic can't hold the heat. Yes, the plastic can hold the heat, and it can hold the heat very well. And the plastic was made for that special reason. That purpose of that plastic up there is to prevent the damage to your engine or a costly repair to your engine. So what they do, they put a plastic up there, so the plastic will go first, give you the first indication that you have a coolant system problem that need urgent attention. Do not epoxy or do not remove the plastic and build a metal and put in there. No, you don't build a metal and put in there. Check your coolant system. If you take your vehicle to an auto mechanic when you have this problem and he epoxy it, that's not a good auto mechanic. And if you take it to a radiator shop, the first thing they should have told you at the radiator shop is that you got a coolant problem and you should go take care of it. Not only that, in most cases, when the radiator top is burst up here, most of the time, it's not recommended that you would put the epoxy on it. And in most cases, it will recommend that you replace your radiator because the aluminum cores up here, if you could see it right down here, clamped on underneath there, it's locked the plastic in. Once you pulled out those those crimp, its purpose is no more, it's not as good as when it just comes from the manufacturer anymore. It's usually a recommendation that you just change the radiator. A lot of people would just remove it and get this built right here. But your coolant system is very important on your vehicle for you to take care of. It's like your body. You need water to quench your thirst. You need water to regulate your blood pressure. You need water to cool you down. It's the same thing with a car. This is where the water cooling system it rely on this radiator here to cool it and pass it back through to the engine. And therefore, when something is going terrible wrong in your engine, it will send back a message with the plastic top that should be here instead of a metal. The plastic top, as I told you before, will burst. And once that bursts, it means that you have a coolant problem with the coolant system. Now, like I said, you changes all the hoses in your vehicle. Some people take the radiator and so they take it and rad the radiator out, they flush the radiator. Some people go as far as taking off the cylinder head, changing the head gasket, etc. And it's so costly. And sometimes it's just this pipe right here needs to change. And because it's in the back of the engine, no one takes notice of this pipe. In most cases, even the auto mechanic themselves doesn't take notice of this pipe in most cases. Why? Because it's at the back of the engine, and in order for them to deal with this, most of the time they would have to remove the intake manifold, etc. And they don't want to do all of that. You know, it's too much for them to do. You know, and it's always good when you can work on your vehicle yourself. So look at this pipe, you know, and it's all because they use water in it. You know, so if you're going to use water in your car, make sure it is distilled water. Do not use the tap water from the pipe because it is chlorinated, and the chlorine is going to eat these coolant inlet pipes. It's going to eat it. It's going to rot it out. You understand? And like I said, it's at the back of the engine and you can't see it. And not only that it's going to eat it out, but it's also going to eat the inside of your water pump. Eat it all the way out. And it's going to eat within your cylinder head. I don't know if you ever look inside of some cylinder head and see it's just got like some little craters, you know, like, you know, this eat up holes here and holes. That's what happened. It's gonna also eat out the inside of your thermostat housing. You know, all that housing is gonna, you know, eat out by the chlorinated water. So when you have a coolant problem, ask your auto mechanic to make sure he checks on this inlet pipe on your engine, if it's at the back of your engine. On the 4G64 and the 4G63, the 4.6 engine, most of these are on the back. And the 4G9 engines, like 4G93, 94, etc., they put it at the front of the engine, so it's just visible to your naked eyes. All right, so make sure, if you learn something today, if my video is of any use to you, you know what I mean, you can just, you know, give a thumb up, etc. And and you know what, I'm still sourcing this pipe. I can't get it anywhere in Jamaica. I'm still sourcing it, but what I did, I had to build one. I had one built, took it to the machine shop and had it built. I bought a similar pipe from a Mitsubishi Pajero. I used that one, or in America, it's not Pajero, it's Montero Sports. I bought, you know, so I got the inlet pipe from that one and converted it, you know, so they have to do a lot of cutting and bending at the machine shop. And what you call it, they do what you call I think it's brass welding. Yeah. So thank you for watching this video. I hope it is of any use to you. I hope it got used to, you know, you know what I'm trying to say. So thank you very much.